All right, Lady Ada, what is this?
Hi, everybody, and welcome to 7:30 Adafruit Show and Tell. It's me, Lady Ada. With me is Mr. Lady Ada. We're broadcasting live from downtown Manhattan, where we manufacture all the cool electronic goodies that you know and love from Adafruit. But at this very moment, we're going to check in with people from around the world. What are they making? What are they crafting? What are they 3D printing? What kind of PPE are they putting together? We're going to find out.
For over a decade, we've been doing the show and tell, and it's one of the things I think everyone knows. Everyone makes something, and this is something that brings us all together. So thanks for joining us every single week, and we'll continue to do the show and tell. And we have people from our team, people from the community, people from around the world. And to kick it off this week, Shawn
from Digi-Key.
Yeah, Shawn, you were doing a project, I think, this week. I saw it make the rounds. I think you're going to show that off tonight.
What did you do?
Excellent.
No, is it something else?
It might be something else. I'm not super sure what you were thinking of. Oh dear, now I'm curious.
Yeah, it was a machine learning, another machine learning project.
Yes, of course. I'm continuing the machine learning. I did the pumpkin one back in October, and so I taught a Hackaday workshop that has been recorded. It's up on their YouTube stream if you want to check it out. And so people joined, and I was showing people how to basically do that pumpkin project I had on in October when I showed that off on this live stream. And so @CleoQC on Twitter took that and started to kind of create this idea of like, can I shout at a robot? And I'm like, oh, that's a really cool idea. So I want to give them all the credit for this idea. And I've got it working on an Arduino Nano 33BLE Sense. And you can see all the false positives going here because I haven't cleaned up the data and classifier yet. Yeah. But the basic idea is forward, left, right, stop.
That's pretty good voice recognition.
Yeah, it's getting there, but you can see it like as I'm talking, it's picking up this random stuff. So yeah, you'd have to like slide that threshold, obviously get more training data and whatnot to be able to shout at the robot to move across the room. That's ultimately where this would go. I don't know if I'll take it much further than this, but I hope this gives some people ideas on what you can do with some of these. So as a quick thing here, I think that getting this on the Arduino, there will be a full video how to do this coming out on Digi-Key's YouTube soon. So that's what I've been working on. And this is just like, hey, I can get 4 classes working, which is exciting.
That's
I was stuck to 2. Yeah.
I remember when you got yes and no working, and that was a really big deal.
Yeah, once you get the 2.
Yeah, when we get that working on one of our little microchip Atmel based ones, it was a big deal because like, wow, it's really here. It's really on microcontrollers. Like this idea can really happen. And yeah, it's a limited vocabulary, but forward, back, left, and right. Those were some of the things we're like, oh, this is really good for a robotics project.
Right.
Accessibility projects. You know, people don't need a full Alexa voice recognition thing. And there's these voice recognition chips, but it's like they're either like super fixed or like really don't work very well. Like there's really nothing. There's nothing between like a full-on like internet connected Alexa and like the clapper, right?
Right, and that's kind of what I was thinking of. And also like all these demos are canned, and it's like, how do you train your own word? Like I don't see much out there for that. So that's kind of what I was working on. I mean, these were all canned anyway, but like you said, like another idea I had a while back was like, the idea of an emergency stop button, like maybe a secondary version of that. Like you yell stop at a machine and it legitimately stops. I would still have the big red button on there, but that could be potential industrial use.
The future is cyborg safe words. Thank you, Shawn.
I will comment no more on that.
Yeah. All right, cool. We'll keep coming back, and as you wrap up that project, come back, and then if folks want to see the video that you just did, it's on the Hackaday YouTube channel.
Yes, yeah, that's the full workshop. It's like 2.5 hours, 3 hours long. I think it's like 2 hours.
Cool. All right.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yay! Okay, come by. You're always fun to hang out here, so come by more often.
Thanks. Will do.
All right. Okay. I was gonna go to Trevor, but Trevor dropped, so I'm gonna go to Noe Pedro.
Okay.
Noe Pedro.
Hey folks. This week we got our MagTag, and we thought we'd make 2 different things. We got a snap fit case that doesn't look 3D printed, and a stand that is 3D printed. So let me talk about the snap fit case. I like mixing stuff with 3D printing. So this is vinyl. It was cut on our vinyl cutter, and I just put it on the surface of the print, so it doesn't look 3D printed. So that's cool. And then I got all the little kind of things that you would expect. So where's my camera? The little hole for the USB port, and then the reset and the boot buttons are right here, and they're printed and they're built into the cover, and they have these little reliefs so that you can actually press them. And then in the back, of course, you could 3D print the back cover, but I figured I'd mill it out of this lovely piece of pink acrylic, and I also etched out the CircuitPython logo in there. We got a mix of the magnetic feet on the bottom, so that kind of props it up, and then I have these little thumb screws because why not? Let's see, what else did I add? Oh, I added a little cutout for the on-off switch. That's cool. And is it on? I don't even know if it's on.
You don't need the on-off switch. Well, you can look for the green LED glowing.
Yeah, I don't think it's on.
Okay.
It's a cool thing about EM.
Yeah, that's. You can't tell it's on or not.
You can't tell. Yeah, there it is. You can with acrylic that's see-through. So let's see. So the on-off switch, you can have access to that, right? I wanted to get this effect, right? So this is the LEDs. It's all nice and lit, and you kind of get that cool
that is nice.
thing where it looks edge lit. It looks really nice. So that's cool. The files are up now. We did a simple little learn guide, so folks can put that together. Not much to say about this one other than I have 2 screws back there, and there's a little hole here if you want to
people
connect
like
to
this for it. You had this for the feather wing, and so this is kind of a remake. I like it though.
Sweet. So hopefully, folks, if you want to get your thing printed up and propped up on your desk, you have 2 options. And of course, we have a 3D model of the MagTag as well, so folks can create a new one. So that's cool.
Awesome.
Okay, right on. We'll be playing your speed up video, and then you also did an Adafruit IO new feature refresh video. We'll be playing that during Ask an Engineer night.
Yeah, and one thing before we forget, a couple weeks ago we were celebrating 300 episode of 3 Hangouts.
Yeah.
They were celebrating 301 guides.
Yay!
So.
Okay, wow, that's a theme. So, all right, so 300 is the theme.
300.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine.
We'll try to get up to Lamar. I think you're at almost 400 or something like that. Yeah.
But I've been doing this for so long. I mean,
yeah, that's why.
What's really nice is actually now I have people help me write the guide, so it's like I don't have to write a guide anymore. I haven't written a guide in like months, which is I only do the ones that are really weird usually. But yeah, all y'all let you have the glory. You can overtake me easily.
Awesome.
Yeah, it doesn't matter how many guides we have, just the fact that we publish almost every day, it's certainly every week. And I think that's the thing. We always get asked from the community, is like, oh, I want to start a company or I want to do something. It's like, just publish something every week. And you'd be surprised that's the biggest barrier. It's like, well, I can't do that. It's like, well,
you got to start somewhere.
You got to start, just do something consistently every week. Mm-hmm. All right, cool.
Thanks
so much.
Thank
All right,
you.
Next up, JP, what you got going on this week?
Hey, I've got this going on. This is a little MagTag project that I'm working on, and I also printed this nice stand that the Rees brothers just did. So thank you for that. Really cool stand. Prints.
That's a good quote. I plagiarize that all the time in like open source. Every time someone's like, I don't want anyone to use my code. It's like, well, it's kind of like a candle. You can light another candle. Doesn't diminish the original candle. So, yeah. That's where I stole that from.
That's good. Well, and here comes it's grabbing a new one. So that's the project. That's what I'm working on right now. I'll be showing more about this on my workshop show tomorrow at 4:00 Eastern time. This is using the built-in Wi-Fi on the MagTag to run up to the Adafruit quote server and pull down a JSON file, parse the latest quote, throw it up on the screen, and this is really cool. We're able to do a bitmap background image with text layered on top of it. So I just created this little grayscale. We have the 4 grayscale colors to work with. So I made this little grayscale scrolly quote background to go behind our quotes there, and I've been nudging around text and working out some of the geometry of things so that it'll all fit really nicely. And I think this will make a nice quote board. And I'll also be showing, I think I'm going to work on an alternate version that'll be slightly weirder and more adult because it's going to grab off of the Reddit r shower thoughts thread. So brace yourselves for that. But we'll have maybe a different background that matches that aesthetic.
Wisdom than
what's that?
It's more folksy wisdom than this highbrow wisdom that you're getting.
Exactly. Yeah.
More from a people.
It'll be the wisdom of the people. So that's what I'm working on. And if you want to come by tomorrow and check that out, I'll show the code. It's very simple. It's using MagTag a lot of built-in MagTab libraries to go and grab the code. We'll also look at the JSON files and all that good stuff. I'll show off the graphics. So that's what I'm working on.
Okay.
If you, we can have a race to see who gets this first. So for the shower thoughts one, I was going to put it in the shower in a Ziploc bag because it is waterproof and like you can see the shower thoughts in the shower. I was just going to like film shower thoughts and shower and then post.
I'll race you because as soon as I get off, I can go do it, and you still.
Oh man, that's not fair. I have to do a show. Okay, well, whatever. That's fine.
I'll be tweeting from my shower in about 20 minutes.
But I think it's a neat idea because it'll only eventually these will just wake up when they need to get the information, and you can put this in a sealed container and it'll last a really long time. So you could have shower thoughts in shower right there.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, for sure. Because we've got like a little battery. We've got some space back there too to stick a little battery in. And once it's doing its thing, once we get it to be super power efficient with the sleep mode stuff, that'll be pretty cool. And I'm actually kind of curious, Lamore, I know we've looked at some stuff that only updates the changing pixels on the e-ink. Is that something that we might see with projects like this?
So we haven't added partial e-ink support to CircuitPython, and I'm not sure if or when we might, but it doesn't change the amount of power used. So
it's just
it doesn't
a
change
visual
the amount of time either. It's just like a cool visual effect.
Mm-hmm.
So in Arduino, I kind of have it working, but I don't know that we'll have it in CircuitPython.
Right.
It still takes a second to update. It doesn't make it any faster. It just, you only end up flashing one area. But
it's a fun trick.
It's a fun trick. So we'll see if it comes up, but it wouldn't affect the power usage.
Yeah, it's funny. I've been noticing now that I'm looking at some of these e-ink projects and building graphics for it, I've been looking at how dang nice the Kindles are. My wife has a fairly new Kindle, and even the screensaver image on it is so dense. Like the refreshes are, I think, partial refreshes on those. So
once you know what to look for, you can actually see it does do the lookup table flash, but it's so fast that the human eye doesn't quite. You don't register it unless you know that you're looking for it because you're like, I am an e-ink expert now.
Right. Now I noticed.
E-ink Kindle, which Phil had, or even the one before that. Believe me, it was basically like this. It wasn't that fancy.
Yeah, we're all e-ink connoisseurs now.
Yeah, like this is Gen 5
if there is such a thing.
From the wealthiest company that is also they can lose money on the Kindle because they make money on selling books. All right, cool. All right, thank you, JP.
Sure thing, yeah. See you tomorrow.
His thoughts.
All right, next up, Scott.
Hello.
Who's got?
Good. We just hit a milestone with CircuitPython as well that we haven't talked about. But on GitHub, it shows how many closed pull requests you've had, and we just crossed 2,000.
Whoa.
So we've had 2,001, almost all merged, but a few of those were probably closed as well. So yeah, and that's a really good metric for like how much work we've actually done within CircuitPython, because I think we started doing pull requests when Dan joined the team and he could do the reviews. So unlike commits, where like depending on how much work you're doing, like commit is not a really good gauge. Closed pull requests is actually a really good metric. So we just crossed 2,000, which is exciting.
And we have a lot open, which is, and there's more open now than almost ever. I remember we used to have like 2 PRs open. Now we have like 20. Which is good.
Yeah, 25, and I'm just about to open the 26th one. Lots of stuff. We try not to get them too backed up, but we got some stuff we want to get in. It's just not a high priority.
Yeah.
Anyway, I wanted to show something. I don't want to take a ton of time, but I've been working on the MagTag, and this is my clock, but on the bottom, what I have is like hourly forecast. So the idea is that once a day it updates, and like as the day goes on, the icons disappear. And there's also like a daytime mode and a nighttime mode. So you can also see like how long I have until the sun goes down, which obviously it's not plugged in to anything. That's why the time is wrong. But yeah, it's especially, this next month before the solstice and the month after up in these northern latitudes, it's important to get outside before the sun goes down. So
that's a good idea for an alert. It's a clock that tells you like you have 1.5 hours before sunset. So go out and get your vitamin D.
Yep, exactly. So I'm just using one API. The Open Weather API actually does all the time stuff as well, which is really handy. Yeah. So I'm just doing one call. I get the time zone, sunrise, sunset, all of the hourly stuff all in one call, which is really nice. And then I have debugging stuff because we're squashing some bugs.
That's right.
If you remember, can you mail Anne about the 2,000 pull request thing?
Yeah.
That's a good one for the newsletter. Like, I can't do that right now.
We're running a show.
Okay, that's a big deal, and congratulations everybody in the CircuitPython community.
It's so good. It means that there's like users, contributors. It's a healthy community.
Yeah, we're just accelerating.
Yep,
it's really good.
Yeah, I think the ESP stuff, the e-ink stuff, very popular.
Yeah, thank you to everybody who's contributing.
All right.
Let's
go to Brent. Brent, what you got going on this week?
Hello, I have a thing that I wasn't going to show, but I got it working, so I'm going to show it.
All right.
That's the best.
That's the best of project.
Okay.
Yeah. So a while ago, we looked at adding matrix portal support to Microsoft has this thing called Expressive Pixels, and it's a Windows app, and you can create your own animations and you can author on the application. And we did a PR for adding the matrix portal, and you can see it in the upper left-hand corner here.
Ooh.
And it connects now, and the support isn't fully into this application, so the 64 by 32 matrices aren't fully added. But this is going to work on 32-bit matrices, so like the matrix portal M4 and the ESP32. So I'll show it because it was really nice. I was like looking at it. Oh, it's really bright.
Yeah, hold it up close because that way it'll saturate.
So
I do
like
the eyeball. The eyeball's really cool too.
The eyeball is really cool.
That's really fast. So you're just mousing over and it's
yeah, it instantly updates. What's colorful?
Incredibly fast.
Ooh, nice.
What's what?
Oh, so the one you were looking at. What about fire? Yeah, fire. Oh, that's a nice
fire
one.
animations. Yeah, right. It's really quick.
Yeah, that's cool.
And like even movement animations are quick. Does it suck?
Oh, RoboMan.
That's awesome. Well, I'm glad that we got the pull request in.
Untitled, not other thing.
Public consumption, but yeah, like this works really well. I'm surprised at how well it works. Because it works for the Matrix Portal M4, we added in some nice things like we can use this instead of if you don't have a Matrix Portal. Whoa, this is so bright. If you don't have a Matrix Portal, you can use like the Featherwing for the Matrix for the RGB matrices that we sell and add in your pinout. And we'll probably do a guide on this. We'll release a UF2 for the Matrix Portal and probably some other things. Like I just installed this to the UF2. I dragged it straight onto my board. I opened up Windows and I connected. It was really nice. And when this is ready, we'll publish a guide.
Awesome.
Good work and like good demo because it like you just mouse over and it instantly transfers.
It is one of the things I really liked about it was like, oh my god, like you don't usually you're like I click and select and download, but it's like you mouse over it and it just like pushes the data.
Yeah,
impressive.
It's really nice.
Thanks so much, Brent.
All right. See you.
Thanks,
okay, next up, Melissa. How you doing, Melissa?
Hi. I have a little demo on this MagTag that I have, and it is running Bitcoin on here. So it's displaying an image along with some text. It's fetching off the internet, and it's automatically updating. I have it updating once a minute, and it is using a MagTag library that I wrote.
Yay, good work on that MagTag library.
Thanks.
And if you own any Bitcoins, congratulations, because they like went up a lot, 17,000.
I know. I mean, when we were doing the Matrix Portal stuff, they were right around 10,000, and now it's close to 7.
Like how you can see like Bitcoin
almost
rise
18 actually.
Through our projects, we can see the history of Bitcoin.
Yeah, so it's pretty amazing.
Awesome. All right, well, looks great. Oh, wait. Okay, well, it's either going to be like 17,000 plus or like 0. That's how it is with Bitcoin.
Right.
All right, thanks so much, Melissa.
Thanks.
Thanks, Melissa.
Okay, next up, Jepler, what you going?
Hi.
Oops.
Yep. Time for another MagTag project tonight?
Yeah, it's Tech.Australian.
Yeah, so recently I was fixing a couple of problems in the ESP32S2, and one was with SPI. And while I was doing that, I just set up this demo that I call Dueling Sensors. I've got a SI7021 and an AHT20, and they both read close to the same temperature, but really not quite. So I've also cranked up the refresh rate here on the e-ink, so when I put my finger on the sensor, we see it come up in temperature pretty quickly. So anyway, just showing off that the I2C is working, and it's really easy to write. I just used a display label for this rather than going through the MagTag library because I didn't have to learn anything new.
You built a physical version of Hot or Not for human hands.
Yeah. Oh, you could.
Which
you could
hand's
have some
hotter?
kind of, you and your sweetie both put a finger on the sensor, and if the temperature is different, then it's not meant to be.
Yeah, you could have like hot fights. Whose hand's hotter?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Thanks so much, Jeff.
See you later.
All right, thanks,
All
Jeff.
right. Next up, Paint Your Dragon. We're on a roll here.
Hey, boy, we are all mag tagging, aren't we?
Yep, that's right. We all got ours in the mail.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, I have the transit times working on the mag tag now using the Next.bus service. So it pulls the server, gets some times for certain buses, and shows you in minutes when those will be arriving. And it updates the screen about once a minute. And not much to say about it other than I wanted to put everything on the screen instead of having to fiddle around with buttons, because that's just what you want with Next.bus. When's the bus? You don't want to press buttons. Yeah. And anyway, all the fonts we had were kind of chonky, so we had one of our guides explained how to use the there was some font tool for generating BDF fonts which CircuitPython can use. So I converted the impact font because it's a very scrunchy font, and I'm able to fit all this information on the display at once.
Okay, looks great.
That's cool.
All right, downtown, 17 minutes.
Yep.
All right.
If you're going downtown, which nobody is, everyone's staying home. All right.
Thanks so much, Phil.
Thanks for being nice look.
We're going to keep doing more MagTag projects. I see some in the preview here. Liz, I think, Liz, you have a project that looks like it's a MagTag project.
Yes. How's it going? So I just wanted to get playing with the library real quick. So I made a simple little demo where you press the buttons, it goes through different arrays of text. So the two side buttons here do different hot greetings, and then the middle buttons will say different.
Works as a good name tag.
This is
great. Yeah. So just a little simple thing.
I love how fonts look on e-ink displays. It's always kind of shocking because you're so not used to having, beautiful looking fonts on displays like that.
Yeah, I grabbed the Helvetica font from the clock example. I was using that,
That's
so it's really sharp. So big shout out to Melissa for the work on this library. So really need to get going.
All right.
All right. Well, peace out.
Yes, peace.
Okay. Next up, we're going to go to Seth, and then TinkerTech, and then Tim, and then we'll wrap up with Mark. Seth.
Hey, Seth.
Take it away.
Hey, everybody. So a couple, back when the QtiePi came out, I had seen some people were curious about battery charging for it. So I threw together a little battery charging board that, so right now it's charging, you can see, but
cool.
Once you take it out, you can now run your little QtiePi on battery charging, and it maintains the pinout for it, so you can still plug it into your breadboard or whatever else you need to do. And I thought it was a fun little project to to sort of try to keep the form factor and make something cool that people could use. So
nice.
And so I'm selling these on my shop right now. Been pretty popular so far, and big inspiration for you guys because I really love the QtiePi, and I made something I can use and something that everybody else can use. So.
Yeah, a lot of things that we make are tools for ourselves that then people end up liking. Please post a link in the chats, and if you remember, email me pt@adafruit.com. I'll get the product in one of our newsletters or blog posts or whatever too.
Sounds good. And
all right,
once these ones are gone, I'm gonna make them even better for the next round too. So
yeah, we do the same thing.
Iteration.
Thanks so much, Seth.
All right, nice work, Seth.
All right, next up, we're gonna go to Tinkering Tech. Take it away.
Hey guys, how's it going? So I don't have an electronics project, but I want to show you guys something that changed my life, and it's these books that I learned electronics on. So I grew up in a small island nation called Fiji in the South Pacific. So this is in the early 90s, and there weren't any electronic books or any Adafruit-like companies who was selling electronic kits. But one day I went to a buddy's house, and he actually had these books. I'm like, what is this? And he's like, oh, these are electronics, and you can actually make stuff. I'm like, whoa, what is all this? So this is my first exposure to electronics, and it actually they're actually kits that come in these little packets that you can put together. And they had these little breadboards that you essentially screw on wires and components to. That's before these things came along, right? Where you can actually put in the breadboard stuff. So, so anyway, I've got a bunch of these and, built them. And then the part 2 of that is when you actually start soldering. So I actually learn how to solder on these in this book, where you can build stuff like a pocket transistor radio, a mosquito repeller, and the kits actually come with the PCB, just like what Adafruit does, like in AdaBox, or what you guys did when you first started your company, right? You had kits. So it walks you through instructions on how to put it together, and it also walks through some theory and things so that you can actually.
The graphic design on these are amazing.
This was an Australian company, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's correct. So Dick Smith Electronics is the next. So they've gone out of business, I think, but Dick Smith himself was the one who created these kits. And look at this, a beer-powered radio. Doesn't that sound like a good time, right?
Yeah.
I love how his face is there, and he's like, "I'm having a good time."
I wrote about these at Make when I was exploring, maker history, because there's a cycle that seems to happen where people do a lot of electronics, a lot of DIY, and then consumerism kind of comes in, and then the pendulum shifts again. Yep. But it's definitely one of the pioneering ones. Now, are these the original ones you have, or did you rebuy?
Yes, these are originals. I've had these for 25 years or something. I've moved so much in my life, but these have always been with me. These are my, like I said, these changed my life. I became an electrical engineer because of these. And today there's an Adafruit that, kids have access to with tons of these guides, right? All online. Back in the 90s, there was no internet or anything. And I depended on these books to learn electronics. And it's amazing the progression of DIY electronics.
You do better than me. I had those books and I could never learn from them. I couldn't. I was so confused. I was like, I don't understand what a schematic is.
Yeah.
The most basic stuff I didn't get it. So that's why I'm doing Adafruit. It's a different way of doing it.
Yeah, now just watching a video, and the whole concept of how people learn was never understood then. Now kids learn through video better. I learn through video a lot better now. Always did, just never realized it. But I really didn't have a choice. This is it for me, So
cool. Thanks for sharing.
Yeah, no worries. I was excited to share about this. Even though I got a Metro. I'm working on this. I got this working actually with the new Internet Connect updated guide. So been doing some projects. I'm going to check out the new Adafruit IO as well.
Yeah.
Yes,
give that a shot.
It's beta, but it's slowly coming together.
One thing to check out, see if archive.org has scans of those books, and if they don't, you might want to scan them in later and get them up there. So
I don't mind at all. Yes.
Yeah, future generations might want to check these out. How did we get here?
Yeah, keep doing what you guys are doing.
Okay.
All right. Thanks so much.
Bye.
All right, we're gonna go to Tim and then wrap up with Mark. If you can keep it to a minute, we can get to everybody. Take it away, Tim.
Yeah. Hi. I'm gonna be quick. I made
you made that cool carrier board.
For the Raspberry Pi 4 CM Compute Module 4.
How did you get one? I don't even have one.
I tried to look up which modules they're gonna make first, and then ordered that from Farnell, which I think is the source that gets them first.
Yeah.
I got lucky. I really got lucky. It got HDMI, HDMI, USB-A, USB-C for power, and micro SD slot for powering.
It looks cool.
And I milled this. Just quickly show you.
I'm impressed that you were able to mill something so fine.
Being able to make something that has HDMI output is amazing.
Yeah, exactly. And the reason why I wanted to make this, I have no functional use for this right now, but not that long ago, a couple of years ago, I was personally afraid of doing these things with these high-speed signals like HDMI and all that stuff. The more I read into this, the more I was like, oh shit, that is really scary and hard to do. And I just wanted to show with something like the milled PCB, that is the worst case for high-speed signals. This is a single layer. There's no ground plane or anything. Okay, added this copper tape to the USB because I didn't realize USB is disabled by default, and that was the issue. But HDMI works just fine. And I just wanted to show this is not as hard as it seems, and anyone can do this and try it out.
Cool.
All right. Well, thanks. I think Hackster wrote it up today too. I saw there was an article making the rounds. Thanks for showing folks it's possible, and don't be scared.
That's cool.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
All right. To wrap up all our e-ink projects, Mark, take it away.
Sure. Well, I got my Maytag last week, and it's now sitting on my fridge. And I updated my previous weather monitor that was pulling from Adafruit.io to run on the MagTag. Now, since it's on my fridge, I will just quickly walk over. But one thing I discovered is that it doesn't take a lot of work to wake up from deep sleep, but with one of the buttons. So now, not only can you save power, but it's just you can wake it up when you need to wake it up. It's just not on a timer. Yeah, so it's working great. I haven't had a chance to see how the power will measure up compared to the other one above, but with additional screen space and everything, I'm just waiting to really get it into CircuitPython to take more advantage of being able to load it up by pressing buttons. Even with the light sensor on it now, if it's dark, it's not going to refresh.
Yeah.
Saving just that little extra bit of power, and then you can just leave it up there running.
Awesome.
All right. Excellent work. I like that you're carrying forward a project that you did before and now in a new form factor.
Yeah. And it took me a few hours, mostly fighting with ESP32 on Arduino, which has been interesting.
It's beta, but it's getting better, believe me.
Yeah.
Every day they're fixing more issues, so
yeah, it was just, there's lots of little gotchas, but next up is to try moving this all over to CircuitPython and see how that works.
Okay, good luck.
All right, thanks so much, Mark.
All right, thanks everybody. Finish us on time.
Yeah, we'll see everybody next week, 7:30 p.m. Eastern time, including next week. It's holiday-ish time. We'll be here. Thanks for sharing and showing your projects. Like I said in the beginning of the show, everybody makes something, everybody shares something. This is something we've done for 10 plus years, and keep making stuff and publishing. And don't be afraid to make that crazy carrier board for a Raspberry Pi module. And don't be afraid.
Like how Shawn's like, did you hand solder that connector? Shawn knows that connector very, very well.
All right. So we'll see everybody on Ask an Engineer in like 1 minute.
The ghost of Edison will haunt you.